on Tell Me the Old Story, and I welcome you to this special edition. And it's been quite a while since we've come your homes with Tell Me the Old Story. A lot of people have called. What has been happening? Nothing. It is just that we have other work to do. But we are back. From now going, Tell Me the Old Story will come every evening. And this program is produced by the Heritage Directorate under the directorship of the Very Reverend Daniel French, who is also the director of same directorate. He's assisted by 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗢𝗟𝗗. And this evening, viewers, we are discussing another important aspect of Christianity, our faith, and that is the altar. The altar, we don't know what is an altar. Today, there are men of God, seasoned theologians, sitting in the studio to help us through our conversation. By the end of this conversation, we will know where the history of altar started. We'll also talk about the emergence and development and origins of altar. Whether it's still important to have an altar, personal altar, altar in the church, even altar in the public space. They will tell us what an altar is. Whether we can come and throw money on the altar for God to bless us. This discussion will explore all the things, and I will ask all the questions on your behalf. Once again, you're welcome to Tell Me the Old Story. And to my guest, one is not new at all. He's the one you have asked me to bring always, and he's here once again. Immediately left to me is the Most Reverend Dr. 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗢𝗹𝗱, immediate past presiding bishop of the Methodist Church, Ghana. He's also the chairman of the the president, you see, the president of African Methodist Council, of the Methodist Council. He's the president. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you.
So I told you off air that you are, it's by your presence here today is by popular request.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that.
2 ministers conspired and told me the man for this job is the Most Reverend Dr. 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗢𝗹𝗱. He knows himself very well. So he's watching this as well. So you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very much welcome.
Thank you.
And then we were thinking who will complement the effort of the big man. And the same group of ministers said, no, wait a minute, I'll get back to you. Couple of days, he called me and said, the Very Reverend Dr. 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗢𝗍𝗄, which is popularly known as 𝗧𝗑𝗍𝗄.
Yes, please.
𝗧𝗑𝗍𝗄. You're welcome. This is your first time on my show.
Yes, Papa.
You're welcome.
I'm so grateful, Papa.
You're welcome. Most welcome.
Okay.
And I know you're happy to be with your boss.
To learn from the best.
I'm rather happy to be with him.
Yes.
He is the man.
You see, look, you're the man of the movement.
Learn from the best. Always.
Learning from the best, yes.
Yes,
And also for thank you for coming. And we are very grateful of your humility and what you are doing with leadership and the young people.
Thank you,
and
Papa.
we pray that God will lift you higher and higher and higher. You are not a senior lecturer, isn't it?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Almost. Yes, you're almost there, I know.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so we pray with him. It will not, the year will not end without getting to that position, which we almost always, all of us in the academia aspire to be.
Sure.
We are grateful. So we are talking about altar, and then we want to explore this altar in the contemporary sense and in the Methodist Church. We don't want our Methodist people, the people called Methodists, to be led astray. We want to understand these things and want to know what it is. So we're taking it first from the historical background. Most Reverend, as a father of this house and the show, I would ask you, what is an altar? And when we say an altar, whilst you answer what an altar is, I want you to also tell us when the concept of altar started.
Wow. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Doc. And let me say a very big thank you to our cherished viewers who are out there and the people at WTV and the wonderful work they are doing.
Yes.
And more especially to you.
Yeah.
This is a program which has become a household program.
Absolutely.
Everybody is waiting for Saturday.
Thank you.
To look at Dr. 𝗧𝗵𝗲 come with his people.
Yes.
And all the wonderful people who have always been on this program.
Yep.
Yeah, and before even I go on, let me also thank my big brother, Dr. Abraham,
yes,
for being here. Today he's going to do most of the talking. I'll also be listening. I'm also learning from him. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
This is a very important issue that needs to be looked at from our Methodist context and within the Christian context as well.
Yeah.
Altar, we would say, it's a biblical concept. It's from the Bible. It's Bible-centered. It's not something that has been imported into our worship life or our liturgy. And you find most of it within our liturgy. And so if we want to understand what altar is, we'll say that it is a sacred table or a built something where we come to meet God. It is where in the contemporary times, we as Methodists will say that, let's call it like the communion table. The communion table. That is where the altar for us will be looked at. Because when we put up new chapels and we are dedicating, one of the things that we would dedicate, consecrate, is the altar and is the communion table for us. It has a very Old Testament beginning. And you look at it from the point of Noah, look at it from Abraham, look at it from Solomon and all those people. They built altars. They built altars, one for sacrifices. And so that is the very beginning of altar. So it is a raised up platform. If we take it from the Old Testament, a raised platform upon which the animal to be sacrificed is put, or the incense that is to be burnt is put, so that you set fire to it and then it becomes a sacrifice unto God. But coming down into the New Testament, you'll find that there is a theological shift from that raised platforms or tables and all of that to be Christ himself, because that's what Hebrew tells us.
Right.
Yes.
We will soon get into the Old Testament, but immediately I understand that altar is an object that is raised.
That's right.
For worship. Is it for worship or it's part of worship?
It's for worship.
It's for worship.
And it could be part of worship.
It could be part of worship.
That's it. Because they are the objects that you find within the worship context.
Right.
That's it.
Now, what is the difference between altar and chancel?
Chancel is the area that is demarcated as more or less the holy place, where you have other things, including the altar.
So the altar resides in the chancel.
Exactly.
So the altar can be a subset of the chancel.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So we cannot call the whole place where, let's say that the liturgies, the clergy resides within the chapel. That is the chancel area.
Yes.
Where Bibles are read from.
That's it. You have the lecterns, you have the pulpit, you have the altar or the communion table, you have the chairs that are arranged over there, and all of that.
So the places we sit in front in the chapel, that is the chancel.
Exactly.
That is not the altar.
Not necessarily.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yes, sir.
Hey, the scholar. He's a man. I told you he's a Old Testament man.
Yes, sir. Also, I understand we can also look
I
at
wouldn't brush on the Old Testament
exactly,
so that he can.
He will deal with it.
Exactly.
I'm happy he said that we can look at altar from the perspective of Aaron, from the perspective of Noah, from the perspective of Abraham, where your name directly falls there. Now, we know that maybe you may want to elaborate a little bit on the history and the starting and then the concept of altar. Whilst you do that, what role, I want you to tell us also the role that altar play in ancient civilization and the early Israelite worship, the role that exactly altar play. You can add a bit of the history to that.
Thank you, Papa. I'm so grateful
Yes.
that Papa has done all the work.
He's done all the work for you. So you
The fathers have done all the work. So we just have to.
I understand. So that is actually one reason some of my viewers, they said the man is good for the camera because he doesn't miss it.
Yes.
I mean, I can mention one of the favorite verses. One minister who would not miss this show at the moment you advertise here. So you are right. I mean, thank you.
Thank you, Papa.
Your perspective. Yeah.
So just as Papa has said,
Yes.
the altar has a point of focus where divinity and humanity will meet, consecrated for such. So then
Divinity, the meeting point of divinity and humanity.
So where people have designated to worship God, to give sacrifices to God, to bring honor to God. So it's a sacred space.
Right.
So it could be a table, like Papa said, table. So, or in some places there are fixed altars. In some places there are movable altars, so-called. It could be anything rectangular, oval. They have different form through history. It has evolved and evolved. There are some cases they were even using the sign of the cross.
As an altar?
Yes, sign of the cross and supported by stands to have sacrifices, to have the Lord's Supper, to have other things on. And then there's a metaphorical dimension to the idea of altar. If it's not just only, like Papa added, in the New Testament concept, it's not just specific locations and places, but relationship. So Jesus Christ becomes the ultimate sacrifice.
Exactly.
So even as I'm here, like we're looking at being transformed by the renewal of your mind. If my mind is renewed, then my life is an altar. It's a place God can use to impact humanity.
So the concept changes completely in the New Testament as to being an object.
Not necessarily.
Okay. Good. So, go ahead.
Yes,
go ahead.
Not necessarily. The altar is altar.
Altar is altar.
Like Papa is in our liturgy, there's altar. In church, there's altar. So in the Anglican tradition, altar is cardinal. In the Catholic tradition, altar is cardinal.
Exactly.
And other traditions.
Right.
But
and the Orthodox.
And the
Orthodox.
Yeah. But for a broader perspective, like Papa was saying, we are saying that altar is not only the place, but Jesus Christ comes to give us a deeper understanding of what we are doing, to give us as we say, open the mind of God to us, the approach of God, the way of God. So it's not only sacred place, but even your life is sacred unto God. It's a place God can meet you, and when God meets you, to impact humanity. So then altar is now, some will say, fluid. It's not static again. But in church tradition, and even now, we have altars, which in consecrated places, which we give reverence. And you were asking about it through history.
Yes.
Altars
through history, civilization, and then Israelite worship. Yeah.
Yes. Altars have served as a point of coagulation, people coming together to reverence God. Altars have served as places where the word of the Lord will be heard.
Altars serve as where the word of the Lord will be heard.
Right.
Meaning that when you go to altar,
not necessarily.
or somebody stands at altar and give the word. I want you to bring it to the level of us so that we don't be too technical with it.
When you go to God, you go to give to God, so-called, worship God. God will also give to you.
That's right.
His word, His instructions, His direction. So if we are saying that an altar is a place where divinity meets humanity, where God meets his people, where we have designated an encounter for worship, then we come together to worship God. And we go there also to hear God speak to us.
Right.
And to direct our life.
Right.
So the prophets, the key people who will give offerings, burnt and others, will speak the mind of God from
the altar.
in those contexts, and it's gone through.
That is the Israelite context, the Old Testament context.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah. So then it has traveled through different forms, and in the contemporary setting also, you see in church circle, like Papa explained, the chancel. So we'll have the pulpit, we have the baptismal font, we have other things in the chancel, which is not for public or popular use. It's not for profane use. Profane as in careful usage.
Yeah.
So it's like we reverence those places, not because they are super special, but we know this is the place we meet God, we serve God. When we were growing in Sunday school, some of our Sunday school teachers told us, see, don't put the Bible on the floor. Bare floor. So plus up to today, I don't put
cannot throw Bible anywhere
on the floor.
Right.
It's not that the Bible is a sacred matter on it, but we give reverence and respect to the Bible.
The content.
The content. Even so, it's with me up to today. When I see somebody put, I feel some way.
Right.
And the same with the idea of the altar. So it started and has gone through with specific place, but now it is the mindset, it is in the heart, and it is with us, and it have different forms. When you look at Pentecostal charismatics, they technically do not have altars. But now, they are bringing all...
Which we will get there very soon, because I have noticed that, I have a friend, actually, a Methodist, who told me he went to an altar in a charismatic church to give some offering, and like you said, probably to hear from God, which equally, we have traditionally, from your explanation, we have altars in the Methodist church, which was not hitherto was not the concept of charismatic now, but now they have it. So why would you leave your church to go to somewhere else, that because it has the charismatic connotation to it? Do you get it? But we'll get to the charismatic thing. So I think you have given us some of the rules of altar in history. Now, Most Reverend, I don't know, maybe you may add...
Part of the history. Part of the history is when you come to the early church. The early church, you know, the church started in homes. So maybe they get a table, and that's where they will celebrate the Lord's Supper and all of that. Then when they went underground, they also built under the catacombs, they also built these altars underground. That's where, so you go there and you find that there's a place where we are saying heaven meets earth. And it's a point of fellowship, because you come to meet God there. And then later it moved, as he said, you have fixed altars and you have movable altars. I will use an example which is 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗧𝗵𝗲 Cathedral. Bishop Korgani, I think in his time, made sure that what they have there, you can just move it. You can move it around. It's not fixed. All right? So it depends on the architecture of the place. But in some places you go and it is fixed. It is fixed. You have it there. Then you can use it. You can use it.
When you come to Christ the King, where I worship, East Legon, you know our chancel, there's no table there. But there's a loop at the chancel. That loop, there's a table over there. Beneath the table is a wheel. So communion days, we push it forward. So that is a movable altar. We see that as a movable altar.
That's right.
So those of you who have been to Christ the King before, and if you have been to Christ the King East Legon, you will see that you go there, you see no table actually in the chancel area, but there's a loop which leads to the vestries. So there is some table over there, and it's a movable one.
It's movable.
Okay.
So you get all these things, and so you cannot say that they are fixed and that's it. No, but movable can be. Some are large, some are small, and as he said, you can have various shapes and forms, and they are all there. But the point that you want to emphasize here is that it is a place of fellowship between man and God. It must always be emphasized that this, because whatever is going on there is a form of worship in which God is there and humans are fellowshipping with God. All right, so you can even use it as a point of a discipline, or as a point, as a practice where you are practicing your spirituality. Because if we are celebrating the Lord's Supper on this table, you come there and listening and going through the liturgy,
right,
it tells you that, no, this is a mystery for which God is here. If you take it from the Old Testament where they are making sacrifices, the sacrifice is unto God. Whether it is burnt offering, it is unto God. Whether it is an incense offering, it is unto God.
Right.
And the fragrance of it just the fragrance of it brings an atmosphere of God's presence. And that is where you are meeting God.
And that is where you are meeting God. And this is just the introduction, yeah? We want to go on a very short break. And when we return, we'll begin to enter into altar, sacrifice, and covenant. We have just celebrated covenant as Methodists. And that is a day I don't joke with at all. And all Methodists is very important in our life. So when we return from this short break, we'll talk about altar, sacrifice, covenant, and identity. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Meye mi fie Christian fie, mema mi kun aye Christiani, na me mofra aye Christian fo, mema mi fie aye Christian fie. Ban papam eye dwumadi a ekoso ewo WTV so. Kasa afa ekwaya ye tete ye mofra. Ekwanya yebefa so ama yaware ayefe ne yaware edimu. Efie entetiye anase efie siesie ene efie nkomodie mu nso yenya ento nchen. Into me to nsa frɛw sɛ hwɛ WTV na nneɛma pa bebree ɛwɔ WTV so enwumpa nkomodie papa nneɛma pa ɛbɛboa me ne omienu ɛne yɛmfie kɔso ara na hwɛ WTV.
Good evening, you're welcome back. This is still Tell Me the Old Story, and in studio with me is the Most Reverend Dr. Paul 𝗧𝗵𝗲 and the Very Reverend Dr. Abraham Boateng, also for later. We are talking about the altar, the altar. They've given us the history of altar, and this is just the beginning. If you have just joined us, relax. We have gone nowhere yet at all. We're just at the preliminary stages of the altar. And this program is produced by the Very Reverend Daniel French, the indefatigable, humble, and affable servant of God. We want to continue. Also for later.
Yes, sir, Papa.
I hope you're comfortable when I call you by that.
Very.
This, where did you get the name from before we go into it? Where did you get the software?
There are two sources. The first, software 𝗵𝗲 who is in Germany now.
Yes.
He was my senior, and he was up, and I was down. So when they come, Abraham, then we all come out. So no, Abraham little. And then
Trinity.
Yes, please.
Okay.
And then also, there was a presentation. I said, well, I have to have faith like Abraham in the Bible. So he's senior, and I'm the little Abraham. So these are the sources.
So these are the sources.
Yes.
Oh, I see. I thought it was due to your diminutive nature in school, how tiny you were.
I was, but not at all. Yes, but there were more tiny. Some my Solomon was more. My brother. Yes.
So he was smaller
than me.
So he's been like this all this while.
Yes.
Anyway,
yes,
thank you. This is Tell Me the Old Story. We are dealing with the altar. Also for later.
Yes,
now
please.
we want to know how altars are connected to sacrifice, the covenant we make, and then our identity through the Old Testament. Being an Old Testament scholar, I would want you to deal with this for us. Connection of the altar to sacrifice, the covenant we go through, as well as our identity in the Old Testament.
Thank you. So we see, like Papa started with, Genesis chapter 8, verse 20.
Yeah.
That's where we have from Noah, God will instruct, there will be something structured, there will be sacrifices on to God. And then we see Genesis 12, 7 to 8, and then 26, 25 also, we see promises. We see sacrifice being made, promises being fulfilled. And then in the Mosaic law, God will instruct that altars should be built for burnt offerings at the base of Mount Sinai. So Exodus 20, 24 to 26, we see God instructing, have a place for me, dedicate a specific time. And then when we look at Exodus again, 27, from verses 1 to 8, we have still the idea of the golden altar of incense, like Papa mentioned. And these were integral in the sacrificial system, sacrificial worship system of the Jewish worship, and even up until now. But we are emphasizing that for us now, we are not Jews.
Yeah.
We are in Christ Jesus. So Jesus becomes linked with the idea of the covenant. Jesus becomes the sheep on the altar. He is the altar. He is the sheep that have been sacrificed now. So then we come to Jesus, and on the merit of Christ, we have a relationship with God. So then with covenant, we see that covenant always will have two dimensions, a stronger power and a weaker power. And the stronger power is God Most High. And always in covenant and not in contract, the stronger force, the stronger power invites the weaker to come and have a relationship, though the weaker does not qualify in any way. So we do not qualify. And on the merit of Christ, God said, now come now, let's reason together. We don't have anything, but he is calling us. He is giving us. So we respond in love. And that is why when we come to covenant service, we come to the Lord's table. There's another name, for example, for the Lord's table, we call it 𝗧𝗪 or Eucharist, to give thanks, because we are not worthy. But on the merit of Christ, we have. So that is altars linked to covenant. And in our contemporary setting, as Methodist, Papa will speak more, we come just with a certain approach to the Eucharist linked with the covenant that we have. So the Catholics will have another approach, the Anglicans will have another approach, other churches will have other approach. But for us, we are not so much domicile and like some will use a locative with covenant and with our worship. We are saying that our worship have a dimension of infusing. So I don't just stay 24/7 or a long time in church, but I take what I have learned, what I have imbibed, and I go and live the covenant. So then the words I put me to use as you want, put me aside. These are living the words of the covenant. So then, thy way, not mine, O Lord, however you want to use it. So these are some things I know.
So, Most Reverend, do you want to add to the issue of a sacrifice covenant before I come to my next question?
Yeah, the sacrifice would also come from the Old Testament because the one he mentioned from Genesis 8, where Noah, it was after the flood.
Yes, please.
And you could say that he was giving thanks to God for all that has happened, and then the Lord's mercy upon him, his family, and the animals that were saved and all of that. So it's that relationship. And again, if we are looking at this covenant between us and God, in the Methodist balance, we will say that it is out of sheer grace, because we have no part in it. It is God's grace that is even offering us that opportunity to come and have that relationship. We also look at the Christ as the sacrifice from an angle of a memorial, instead of a reenacting or repetition of the sacrifice that was made at Calvary. So we see it as anamnesis. It is memorial, rather than what maybe the Orthodox or the Catholics will also see it. So in all of these, the altar, who is now Christ, is the sacrifice that has been made on our behalf. And so we are made whole in the presence of God, and we can approach the throne of grace because of Christ.
Let me ask this follow-up question. In the Bible verses you read, it said God has instructed for altars to be built for him to be worshipped properly.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't put it right, but God ordered for altars to be built. In today's time, even we'll get to some modernity shortly, can God, well, if not God, can we still instruct people in modern time, go and build an altar for me?
where we are who?
Very good.
Is it
let me say, for example,
presiding bishop,
let me say head of church, precisely.
Or Little is asking the big man to go and build an altar.
So, can we say
it's
to
only
the
God?
Yeah.
You see, what has happened?
Yeah.
What has happened between the Israelites and God? God has come. God has delivered. God has rescued. So what does the altar, what does this bring into mind of the people? You see, so building an altar means that now you have put up a sacred thing for which it's always a remembrance. Coming there is a remembrance. So God calls for it. Yeah. But in our time, we will not go around instructing people to go and build an altar unto God. But let's say in the chapel context,
Right.
In the chapel context, we have a place where we have the fixed altar or the movable altar.
And
that
it serves a purpose.
It serves a purpose.
Right.
It serves a purpose.
Right.
I would want to refer our members to our liturgy.
Right.
The liturgy volume 2, where we do the dedication of chapels.
Right.
The first thing that we would dedicate is what we call sanctifying the Lord's table / altar.
So we made it the Lord's table / altar. So the table we are talking about is the altar, which resides within the chancel, as you explained earlier.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
And when we get there,
yes,
all the officiants, plus whoever, the presiding or the bishop, we kneel. We kneel to consecrate or sanctify the altar. All others we stand, but at the altar, we kneel.
What is it? Why? Why should that be?
Because we see it as central. We see it as
where God is actually communing with his people.
And then the words the minister stands at the altar or kneels and says, "Let us now offer our petitions and intercessions to God for the blessing and grace." Then the minister with the other ministers assisting him shall kneel before the Lord's table or altar and severally offer the following prayers. So that is when we come to the altar. We will kneel. Then put our hands on it. And then the prayer which is here is said. Yes.
So we still have that belief that altars we have in our churches are on the instruction of God.
Sure.
Kind of. Is it? Can we take it as?
Yes, because it's coming. It's part of the church architecture.
Exactly.
Right.
It's part of church architecture.
Right.
What God instructed the people to put in there, we say that yes, these things we can have it, because where do we celebrate the Lord's Supper? Where do we put the elements? Where do we stand to even consecrate it before it is given to the people? And that is the place. And that we can't put it on the pulpit.
It means that our chancel we should be taking extra care of the chancel area based on even what you have explained.
Taking extra care of the whole chapel.
All right. This is very good.
Exactly.
Wherever we worship.
Exactly.
Right.
Everything. That is why in the consecration the dedication of the chapel, everything within and that which will come in are consecrated. All right.
So we don't place preference over this. This does not take preference over this.
No.
Because virtually, Jesus resides in all these things.
Yeah. Even though we say that as part of the liturgy that he does not inhibit in houses made by hands. Made with hands.
Yeah.
But we believe
he resides there. That's why we meet him.
Exactly.
More or less, isn't it?
Sure.
All right. Also for little.
Yes, sir.
I'm back to that question again.
Yeah.
You have explained to some extent, and then I'm feeling that, well, maybe one day we are there, and then the immediate past presiding bishop decided, okay, he's building a chapel in his area, his neighborhood, probably, yeah? And then he instructed that, okay, let's do this type of altar. Can we still give such instruction, knowing that they have relevance in terms of usage, where in Methodist Church we use our altar for communion? Can we still give such instruction as God has given, that build an altar for me?
I think Papa answered it. It's like if you want to build a church, there are certain things that we require in the church architecture, like Papa said. So then we have a place designated for chancel, and in the chancel, in quote and unquote, we need a table to put the things of the Lord on.
Okay, let me take it away from the church issue. In my house.
Okay.
In my house.
Now,
can we instruct that all Methodists build an altar in your home?
So then we come to the contemporary existential implications.
Yes.
Right.
So there are some who will tell you that I have a place of an altar in my house. So in the Catholic tradition, maybe you may have a statue of Mary of Jesus, put some cross, put some rosary there. To him or her, this is my altar.
Yeah.
There are some contemporary Christians who tell you that somebody I was discussing said, in my house I have an altar. That is, and I asked, what do you mean by altar? I said, I have a small room that is only a table and a Bible there, and that's the place I meet God. I pray.
Exactly. Right.
To this woman, that is an altar. And then one woman comes to Trinity and said, Trinity, we need to have an altar here. And I was listening to her. We need an altar. I said, hey, what do you mean? A place that there will be prayer 24/7. I said, who will be praying there 24/7? And the issues she was raising were realistic issues. I understood her from her context.
Yes, I understand also.
There are people who, I visited a company, and in the company, they have a place, they put a cross and said, this is our altar here. There's no problem if people want to say, I
designate a place.
But when we idolize those places.
Exactly.
Can you come again? When we idolize those places we designate.
That is the problem. Telling that if I don't go and pray here, then God will not listen. Wrong. And like Papa explained, even the idea of altars, it has now moved from just the static. You are the living temple of the living God.
Yes.
So in you, the Spirit of the Lord lives.
When the Old Testament man is talking like this, it means that he has seen something we have not seen.
So that it's you who is now the temple.
Right.
So when you read Hebrews, I think Hebrews 3 or so, it's like Jesus now becomes the sacrifice and the high priest. For us, we are benefiting from it. So then there's nothing wrong if it will help me to pray. Maybe every morning I go to
that there's a place I will have to go and pray. But not to make the place as a fetishism, like it becomes a deity for you. That without this place,
you come, and then some women say that until you come here, until you give money, until you give some sprinkling, until you give some offering, if you have money, come and put here before. There's a place in Trinity we call the prayer court. And people come from places to come and pray. And we try to discourage idolizing the place.
Right.
And we tell people, don't come. You see people come and put water. There. It's like, no. You go to 𝗧𝗵𝗲 Mountains under the cross, and there, you see, fine. What encourages somebody's faith? But we should let everything based on scripture. Based on the word. Based on the quadrilateral, like Methodist. So I don't just say I'm building. Some even will tell you in my car, there's where the document had to be stored, I put a Bible there, and I put anointing oil there, and I put on holy water. So this is my altar. Fine. If that will remind you to pray, that will remind you to get close to God, but don't idolize there. That's the point I want to come.
Making it as though without that space, you will have nowhere else to pray. And then even you will have to leave wherever you are to come to that particular place to pray. Meaning you can pray anywhere.
Yeah.
So, yes, Most Reverend.
I think we should move our people's mind from that static thing for which you have a place where if you don't go there, then your day is not made. Then you have not prayed. Then your prayer will not be answered. Hebrews 13 tells us, 13 and verse 10, says that we have an altar from which those who minister at the tabernacle have no right to eat. We have, and he's talking about Christ.
Right.
And that's why we, in this discussion, we want to draw attention to Christ as the altar. Christ as the altar.
So not the physical.
Exactly. So that point must be made. We are not also discounting that idea
and relegating the idea of altar at all. It's an important aspect of our component of our Christian worship.
Then he says, don't idolize it.
Right.
Don't make it an idol for which it is your everything. Knowing that Christ is our altar. The sacrifice has been made. The incense has been burnt. The lamb has been sacrificed already for us. So that's one thing that it's, for Methodists, go back to the Bible. And thank God this year we are walking in the Word
and getting equipped for
every good work.
Viewers, on this note, we are taking a short break. And I mean, it's really an eye-opener. And when we return from this short break, we shall continue. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Meye mi fie Christian fie, mema mi kun aye Christiani, na me mofra aye Christian fo, mema mi fie aye Christian fie. Ban papam eye dwumadi a ekoso ewo WTV so. Kasa afa ekwan a ye tete ye mofra. Ekwan a yebefa so ama yaware ayefe ne yaware edimu. Efie entitiye anase efie siesie ene efie nkomodie mu nso yenya entwenten. Into me to nsa frɛw sɛ hwɛ WTV na nneɛma pa bebree ɛwɔ WTV so enwumpa nkomodie papa nneɛma pa ɛbɛboa me ne omienu ɛne yɛmfie kɔso ara na hwɛ WTV.
Viewers are welcome back. I tell you the truth. Today I am having an education of my life in theology. And it's been made so simple for all of us to understand. And I am sure we will not leave here this evening the same, but we will be transformed into understanding of the architecture and what goes on in the chapel. Still in studio with me on Tell Me the Old Story is the immediate past presiding Bishop of the Methodist Church Ghana, the Most Reverend Dr. 𝗲𝗵𝗲 𝗢𝗲, who is also the president of the African Methodist Council. He's a big man. Abraham.
Hey, our father. our father.
Chief servant. I'm only serving.
But you know this in his humility and his humor. He was telling me a story a while ago. They don't know that he has that aspect of humor in him. And what I cherish so much about you, when conference is so heated,
Yeah.
he will just bring you something humorous, and then the whole place is thrown into something else. I like that aspect so much.
Thank you.
And we are grateful that he's still in studio with us. Also with him is the young man, an Old Testament scholar, trained in Germany, right?
Yeah.
No wonder. You know, they are machines. They are like that. How do you say good evening in German? Do you forget that one?
Oh, no. Guten Abend.
Guten Abend. Greet our viewers. Some people.
Guten Abend. Freut wir diskutieren etwas mit Alter.
Very good.
Das geht in die Kirche.
Right.
So viewers, I think you have heard a little bit of orientation in German. You studied a bit of German, right?
You have to study German to do a doctor of theology. You have to.
You have to?
Yes.
So
my lectures were in German.
Yeah. Is that so?
Yes.
Did you study German before going to Germany?
I did Goethe Institute 2 years in Ghana, then I did 1 year in Germany.
Oh, before you started your PhD?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay, no wonder. We come nowhere near him.
That's what I told you.
He has read all the German books.
That's right.
Bitte.
He has read all the German books, and the Hebrew books.
That's right.
You did Hebrew too, right?
In fact, my specialty is New Testament, but you have to, in the German context, you have to do Old Testament and New Testament.
Is that so?
Yes, please.
Okay. This is a rounded theologian,
Sure.
you know. I mean, he's a rounded theologian. And we, people like this, we must use them to educate us. And it's good, very good you found yourself in Trinity. It's not by mistake at all, because you are able to, from the perspective of...
Anywhere under the sun,
I remember...
Trinity is the place.
I remember on your way back...
Trinity or the university.
Yes. But I remember on your way back, prior to arrival, Bishop presiding then was speaking to Bishop A. saying on your... remember very well.
Papa did everything.
Yes.
I'm so grateful for everybody.
No wonder.
Yes, please.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. So we are discussing still the altar as it is in the concept of Christians. Now, Osofo, I want you to understand, to explain something for us.
Yes, please.
We do not have so much time, you know, but we would have to continue next week because there's so much to be covered. The altar, in the sense of Methodist Church. If I come to the worship service and I feel that I'm expectant of something from God, can I just come to the altar and say that because the altar is that holy, probably than any other place in the chapel? Please, I'm choosing these words as we understand them in our daily lives as the lay people of the church. That the altar is the most holiest place in the chapel. So I'm coming to sow seed on the altar. Is it in the concept of Christianity? Is it to be encouraged that I'm sowing seed on the altar, where I specifically go to all the places we described now, in terms of the triangular table there, whether movable or not movable, and I go and I dump the money, sometimes under. Some people throw it on the floor, and they are sowing seed in this magnitude. Is it Christ-like?
Okay, Papa, we cannot legislate on how people express faith, but we can encourage people to express faith in line with Scripture.
So
let me now.
I want you to expatiate that.
For example, I did some research and I met some people in the village where I work on divine interventions and miracles, and they said, in my science, in my mind, I know in futuro will not do anything. But to them, in the context they find themselves, until they are taught the word, they will believe that, and it will give them so quote and quote. So, if that will boost their faith, God have a way in their ignorance. But we that we know, you cannot tell me that sometimes you see people, man of God preaching, and then people, even how we squeeze money.
Exactly.
We throw it and to hit the man of God. If you are giving God something, approach
Most Reverend wants to die in his chair.
How you even approach, like if I want to give Papa something, I don't Papa throw to Papa. It doesn't.
And you are running giddy, giddy, giddy.
It doesn't sound fine. It doesn't sound well. And then again, if there's so-called altar, and I want to give, and there's an offering bowl, my mind, I think it's better to put in the offering bowl, which is also consecrated, which is also sacred.
Sure.
And it goes to the same. But some, it's emanating because of, there's a work by Dr. 𝗧𝗵𝗲 who worked on 𝗧𝗫 and those kinds of things. In that context, when people go for 𝗧𝗫, go to consult other powers, deities, and other things, then they give things, so-called. So then you hear people say, oh, they took my picture to a place, they took the person's this to a place, some part of you. So then people have transported these ideas and others to the church also. So then let me take money, let me go and put them. The problem is God wants a relationship with us. But we try to say, oh, once you enter, you put money. No. God is not so interested. Even the cattle on the field, everything is for God. And he has everything. So he wants a relationship with you. So then, it is not just going to church and so-called tapping into the altar. You put money in an envelope, anointing oil on it. Some women write prayer requests, write things, go and put there. Instead of praying with God, prayer is relationship. Prayer is an encounter with God. Getting to know God. Having that, who should pray for you? It's just written. Ǹtí will also answer. No. Some will say, go and put it under the altar. I'll bring Trinity's example again. We teach on Wednesdays, there's a subject we call the practice of preaching. And whenever we go to the class, before I go and check, you see the offering, then there's money in. And some
offering bowl.
Yes. There are people who are in the community.
Yeah.
You come and see them pray after they
drop
put money.
offering.
They are gone. And then the chapel secretary will come for those monies. It's the same thing. If you want to give to God's glory, God have done, every church will have an offering bowl. My mind, I think the offering is part of the altar. It's also in God's heart. You put in, at least, you give reverence to it. Some will also say, no, let it be here. I think it's more of contemporary charismatic approach to things. And the other side is that even those who started are changing.
You're right.
Those who started
You're right.
are stopping these things.
You're right. I'm not cutting you, but I listened to one of our colleague ministers recently talking about head of church, other Pentecostal church recently, talking about speaking in tongues. And then where, not digressing, but because you are talking about the change people are doing now, where he says that it's like tongue speaking has become a rhythmic movement. So they are playing the drum on it, and then this one you come, and the next one coming. So it becomes a hocketing kind of thing.
They call it prayer charging.
Prayer charging. Unfortunately, a head of that church, a head of chapel.
I listened to him too.
You listened to him, and I was amazed that this is what Methodist has been teaching us.
I've been teaching a long time. And
this is what they've been teaching us. So from what you are narration you are giving, it is better for us to be convinced and repented as a Christian and give out of that rather than using the altar as a bait of.
Then you are idolizing
the expression. Then, yeah.
Yes. So then it's abeye interest, abeye obosom.
Right.
Unyame.
Right.
Then I have to go and put something to so-called have a link with it, but the link is with Jesus Christ.
So not in what you are doing there.
But in that, like Papa also said, we are not also saying that discourage people's faith. There are some people who feel that when I come and I put money in an envelope, I put it maybe on the table.
Yes.
Or I put in the offering bowl. That is a touch. Like we are doing harvest, we are doing other forms of giving. We encourage people to give.
Encouragement to do.
But we should not make it idolatry.
Yes. In fact, this week, it's a prayer.
Prayer and fasting.
Prayer and fasting week.
Yes, please.
I've been to a worship service somewhere, and I asked myself, this happening in the Methodist church, we have to look at it again. So the one leading asked all those present who have problem to write it and bring it to the altar. And I was stunned because they wrote it, almost everybody wrote. I didn't write anyway. Not that I don't have my problem, but I feel that the best way to communicate to God is not to write and put it in an altar, and stretch your hand to it and say, God, I have brought my problem to you. And that was exactly what it is, that you bring your prayer to the altar. Yes, I can bring my prayer to the altar, even in my card. That is my belief, that I don't need to write it for somebody to go and read that this is, oh, so you two have this problem. So you two, so you two have that problem. And so I appreciate the perspective of which we are coming, that it is about relationship, that my encounter with Christ, which is in the New Testament now, that builds on all these things, not to idolize the altar. Most Reverend,
yes,
we don't have much time. I want you really to just come up to this idea of giving in the altar and how we give in the altar. For us as Methodists, we might not say, like you said, we did not have to legislate how to worship.
Yeah.
And like I say always, there is no formula for prayer, but it must correspond to Scripture.
Scripture.
If you think you want to roll on the floor and that is how God listens to you, that is your problem. Yeah. But does that, correspond to Scripture? So the aspect of giving at the altar as Methodists and in the Wesleyan tradition,
that's right.
What is there for us?
Thank you very much. See, we are now bothering and moving into our form of worship, our liturgy. How do we say that the people called Methodists give to God? We started from somewhere. Previously, there was a collection bowl or something that was used to go round. Yeah. And then you put in, and then they've been used a very long one, which can go to the end of the pew. Yes. Then comes out, then go to the others. Those ones.
I remember.
You will sit.
Those days.
Yes, you will sit, and then
you don't even move.
You don't move. You don't move. Yeah. Now we move from that.
Now we say, with all the joy.
Now we're saying that no. Yeah. Let us come with that love and appreciation and all of that. Let's put the bowl down, danceable music, and one of our past bishops will say, Njoma, what did you scare? That's right.
Njoma, what did you scare?
That's right. Singing back for me, Njoma, what did you scare? Then that one will jam me and all those things. Then you come and we put specific receptacles there for which we put in our offering. And that has always been. You go to some places, they have what they call the grace box. It is always there. If you want to give, you go in weekdays, whatever day, you go there, you can put it in. But the idea of having a preacher standing and preaching, and then people coming in and throwing money at him or her on the floor, is not our practice.
It's not our practice.
It is not our practice. In the sense that everything we do is holistic as a church.
Right.
The money is legal tender.
Right.
And we have to respect that.
Right.
We just don't throw our monies onto the floor. And in some instances, you find even the preacher man stepping on it. I would discourage that.
Absolutely.
I would discourage that.
You won't legislate it, but you discourage it.
That is it. And so, when this new currency came, I remember in some churches, they made envelopes. Smaller envelopes. You don't even have to fold. Learning to keep the money clean.
Right.
Now, the CD is 60 years old. And they are telling us even how to keep it and keep it well. Because sometimes the way we will fold it, sometimes the way we would approach the whole thing. I was with the secondary ministers at their
FK recently,
Recently.
Or 2 weeks ago, I remember.
That's right. And they were giving the offering. I think one of the ministers, she works with a monk.
Yes.
So when they had finished, she made the announcement that, no, sometimes the way you fold the money and put it is not right. And then they were all laughing, oh, Bank of Ghana, Bank of Ghana. And I think that we must be good stewards.
Yes.
One, the money is legal tender. You can't just throw it onto the ground and people to be stepping on it and say that you are giving to God.
Yes.
And also Abraham said, if I'm going to give something even to my child, I'll not throw it to the ground.
Absolutely.
And ask the child,
go and pick it.
Go and pick it. As a father, in a fatherly manner, hand it over to him or her. In the same manner, if I want to give to God, that is how I should give, and not to throw it at him and say that I am done. No. And I pray that we will all look at it from this angle as Christians, not even just Methodists, but as Christians. The receptacle is there for us to put the monies in. And I think that is the best way that we have to give to God and not be throwing it onto the altar. Thank you.
Okay. Definitely we will find ourselves in other chapels, in other churches, and other places. But as Methodists, we have a tradition to keep.
Sure.
And that tradition is holistic.
Yeah.
It is absolutely holistic. So we cannot be something in the Methodist chapel, and when we go to another chapel, we are different thing. We must show our true identity. We do not have time to continue with the conversation. However, I thought that I would have loved, certainly, that we continue. But let me say that, viewers, we want to, my producer is already signaling me that it's time. So we want to end, definitely. I'll take your last thought on your giveaways for the day on the altar. Just a minute each. And I'll start with the younger one. Yes, your takeaway on an altar for the day.
So altars are divine encounters.
Yeah.
Where we meet God.
Yes.
Yes, we have to respect the physical aspect, but altars are now with us. Right. And in Romans 12:1, we have to be renewed constantly, our minds. By the transforming power of the word, we renew our minds, and we are a walking altar, walking presence. And then we have to move from just the localized altar to the infusing aspect, where we infuse society because we have been to the great altar, Jesus the Christ.
Most Reverend, your last word on the altar for the day. Your giveaway.
Yes, is that Christ is the altar, and that we come to him and the sacrifice is made. We can have those that are physical, but the bottom line is that Christ himself is the altar who has made the sacrifice on our behalf.
Christ himself is the altar who has made the ultimate sacrifice on our behalf. Viewers, this is how far the Lord has brought us this evening. We have come to the end of today's show. And I promise that next week we shall continue with the altar, because there are a lot we need to learn so that we can keep up as good Christians, first and foremost, even before becoming Methodists. On this note, this show is brought to us by the Heritage Directorate of the Methodist Church, Ghana, under the directorship of the very Reverend Daniel French. And he is also the producer of this program. If I stop it, you can go and tell him not to stop me next time. Also for French is the one who stops me. And he's assisted by 𝗧𝗵𝗲 We are grateful to church. We are grateful to head of church, the Most Reverend Professor 𝗧𝗵𝗲 for an opportunity. And to the lay president, we are grateful, Brother 𝗧𝗪𝗓 and the administrative bishop, my own brother, the Right Reverend 𝗬𝗪. Grateful to all of you, the viewers. We are because you are. Till we meet again next week, let's keep in mind that the altar should always be in us wherever we go. Good night.